Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch, and welcome today to another review slash multiple giveaway. I love Casio watches. Casio makes some of the world's most accessible and best value timepieces. But that's not to say you can't spend money on a Casio if you want to. I know this because I have. I've bought and reviewed plenty of their far more expensive Japanese Oceanus line. And if you're into G-Shocks, well, you can spend big on those as well if you really want to. But there seems to be a middle ground that is missing. You've either got ultra affordable, almost disposable Casios, or you've got ultra expensive Casios. There's nothing really that sits in the middle of those two. Enter the mod scene. Today I'm looking at a range of modifications you can do to the humble Casio A168 that take it to the next level, that make it the watch that Casio should make, but don't make. They are from a company called SKX Mod. You may remember the name. I reviewed and gave away a bunch of their kits for the AE1200, the Casio Royale, a couple of years ago, and now they are back offering upgrades for the A168. Now, you saw the pop-up, I'm sure. Giveaways equals sponsored video, and this video is sponsored by skxmod.com. It's also sponsored by yours truly because I bought one of the watches and I'm paying the postage. So, why would you modify a Casio? How would you modify a Casio? And what do you do to have to win a modified Casio? Let's flip the camera and find out. Before we look at the watches, let's have a quick look at the website, skxmod.com. They make mod kits for Seiko, for Casio, kits for Apple Watches as well if you have succumbed to the power of the dark side of the force. It's the Casio stuff we're interested in today though, obviously, specifically the A168 kits. Now these start from $79. That may seem a little crazy at first, spending $80 on a $30 Casio, but wait till you see what you end up with. Well, I'm sure you can guess what you end up with, just look at the pictures. There are a variety of stainless steel cases available, some coated with a scratch resistant coating by the way. You can even get them in bronze for a bit more cash. You can then spec on a fitted rubber strap if you want to, or a bracelet, again with a variety of finishes to either match or mismatch your chosen case. And if you're feeling really flash and really flush, add on a custom case back. But one thing you will need in all instances is a new faceplate, as the old ones don't transfer. So you're looking at a minimum of 90 really for a case and faceplate, up to about 160, 170 if you want to go all in with bronze. You don't have to modify it yourself, of course. They sell pre-built examples, and that's what I'll be giving away in a couple of minutes' time. Loads to choose from, priced from just under $200 to just under $250. Now that does sound like a lot for a Casio, but you do get sapphire crystal, a scratch-proof stainless steel case, an FKM rubber strap, a decent bracelet, and you get a digital module from the masters of digital modules. But let's have a look at the DIY option before I give a bunch of these pre-modded watches away. So this is one of their kits. It's all very nicely done, well presented, and it contains everything you need to modify your A168, including all the necessary tools and spares, which is great. They give you a bunch of extra spring bars and screws and a couple of case back gaskets in case you lose something or make a mess of something. Now this kit is for a high polished stainless steel case and bracelet. They also threw in the custom case back, which I have to say looks fantastic. Now I know we don't look at the back of the watches all that often, but if you do look at the back of this one, it's great. Now, I had a bit of a pop at the bracelet on the AE1200 kit. I didn't think it was worth the money. It's good to see they've taken a bit more time and effort with this one though. It's a massive upgrade on the Casio bracelet. It features solid links, screw links, a decent little milled clasp, 5 micro adjust holes, and it fits the case well, as you'll see later on. So I couldn't recommend the previous bracelet, but I can definitely recommend this one. I can also recommend the FKM rubber strap. Very comfortable and branded nicely as well, if not particularly cheap. As discussed, all the fiddly bits are there, including a few spares. What's missing though is the Casio. If you want to build one yourself, you'll of course need an A168. Now you may have one in your collection. If not, Amazon seems to be the best place to get them. That's where I got mine. I'll leave links to the watch and of course SKX mods in the description of the video. 25 US and change will get the job done. And the A168 is a great watch. It's a bit larger than the A158, plus it has an electroluminescent backlight which makes a huge difference to after dark legibility. It's not a massive watch though by any stretch of the imagination, although obviously putting a proper metal case on it definitely makes it noticeably heavier and far more solid feeling, as does the vastly improved bracelet. This one is shocking. It's as shocking as you would expect from a $25 Casio. It's a charming watch though, and one that can definitely handle a bit of money thrown at it in terms of mods. So let's do just that then. Let's pull this thing apart and get the module out. It's very easy, 4 screws, one in each corner of the case back. You don't even have to bother taking the bracelet off, we can leave that one on. Once the screws are undone, get your screwdriver in, pop the module out, and Bob's your uncle. Now, unfortunately, the brightly coloured Casio faceplate with all of the specs on it is moulded into the case, which is why you must buy a new faceplate with all of these kits, or else you'll end up with a kind of Terminator look, half man, half machine, slightly unfinished mod. Now I'm going to use a brushed silver faceplate for this one. I think it'll look nice with the polysilver case, just adding an extra texture and a little bit of difference. And it's such a clean looking faceplate, much simpler, much classier than the one supplied with the Casio. Pop that in, then the module goes on top, squeeze it down, and then check that all the pushers are working, which indeed they are. It's a very simple watch, alarm, stopwatch, backlight, that's pretty much everything. Next job then is to fit that custom case back. 8 screws are supplied, but you only need 4 of them. Don't forget your gasket. You could always recycle the one from the Casio, but when you get 2 with the kit, you may as well put a freshie in instead. Now this was probably the hardest part of the mod for me, putting that case back on. Big fingers, small screws, and no fingernails. I cut my fingernails about 3 times a week so that they're nice and short for all of you. I did get it eventually though. I found it easier to put all 4 screws into the case back and then put the case back on the watch. Once I worked that out, it was much easier and it didn't take too long. Screwed it all together using the supplied screwdriver, and once again I checked all of the buttons all function, which they did. Let's have a look at it on the FKM rubber first of all. Very nice strap, this one. FKM is everywhere at the moment, and that's okay with me because it's really nice. This one is branded SKX mod, it has nice hardware, and it has quick release spring bars. Mind you, it should be nice because they want $49.99 for the privilege of ownership. Very easy to attach it onto the case though. And there we go, in well under 20 minutes I have a totally different watch on my wrist from the one that I started. This one has sapphire crystal, a scratch-proof stainless steel case, and an FKM rubber strap. It's noticeably heavier, but it's not exactly heavy. Very, very comfy thanks to that high quality strap. But let's go all the way and size up the bracelet as well. As discussed, much improved over the original, but not so chunky that it overpowers the watch. Plenty of micro adjust holes in the clasp, and I had no problem getting the screws in or out of the links. The spring bars were a little tighter though. It took me a couple of attempts to get those working. Mind you, I am working around a camera, which isn't always easy, but overall I'll give the bracelet an 8 out of 10 for installation. First up, I lay it on my wrist to get a feel for the size and to also get a feel for how many links I'm going to have to remove on either side of the clasp. I must say, it looks pretty good. And it looks even better once I remove all of those links. You know, the bracelet isn't essential. The FKM is very good, or of course you can put any 18mm strap that you want onto this watch from your collection, because we haven't messed around with the standard lug width, have we? All we've done is swap the case like for like with a better one. And there we go, I'm still well under half an hour and I've had the watch on 2 different straps and sized the bracelet, etc. Look, I would probably recommend wearing gloves for this because you are mucking around with the internals of a watch, and I would also recommend using a puffer if you work in a dusty environment. I can see a couple of specks of dust under the faceplate. I did actually go back and remove them though. It's pretty easy to do. Just take off the 4 screws again, give it a clean, and then put it all back together. So there you go then. This is watch number 1 that you can win as purchased and modified by me. High polished silver with a silver faceplate, the fancy case back, the bracelet, and the rubber strap. And of course I'll send you a watch pod that was sent to me to protect it, the mod kit box, any spare parts that I didn't use, and a business card congratulating you on your victory. Isn't that nice? But I'm not just giving away one watch today, I'm giving away 4 watches. If you prefer, you can have this one that comes pre-modded by a professional modder rather than an amateur modder. First up is this super stealthy black one on the rubber strap with a negative digital display and a black faceplate. It looks pretty mean, or as mean as a 33mm Casio can look anyway. If you win and you don't fancy that one, you can pick this one instead. It comes on a bracelet, it comes with a positive display, and it isn't quite as dark, it isn't quite as stealthy as the previous one. Or you can win this one with a bronze case and a black faceplate. This one, of course, really had to be on the FKM rubber. It would not have looked right on a metal bracelet with that bronze case. That bronze case will, of course, patina. I am really keen to see what a patinaed bronze Casio looks like after a number of months or even years. That is not something you see every day. So a whole bunch of stuff you can win then, but before I tell you how to win it, I'm going to complain about it all because that's what I do on this channel every time in the Moans and Niggles section. Well, the necessity of doing away with the original Casio faceplate does change the look of the watch a lot. Undoubtedly, the modded watch looks much cleaner and much sleeker, but it loses a little bit of that Casio retro kitsch, that Casio retro charm in the process, unfortunately. And it's pretty expensive when you start adding up all of those parts. Modifying anything gets pretty expensive when you start adding up all of the parts. For example, the rubber strap may be good, but it's $50, which I must admit rather stings. Maybe you should have a dig around in your box for that 18mm strap after all. Plus, the watch you end up with has a bit more weight, but no more size and no more water resistance. Those seals look pretty impressive and it all goes together nicely, but you get this one wet at your own risk. But if you love your A168 and you want to take it to the next level, or you want to buy one that's already there, then go for it. All parts are high quality, the kit is easy to use, and the watch you end up with is a little bit special no matter how you configure it. Alright, so you've now had a look at the kit. How do you win one? It's pretty simple. Most of the giveaways that I've run on this channel follow the same pattern. First, you have to be a subscriber of the channel, so if you aren't already, now would definitely be a good time to hit the big button marked subscribe. Please like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and then please leave me a comment. Any comment you like, I will scroll through them in precisely 7 days' time and I will pick the first winner. They send me an email, they pick the watch they want, I then pick a second winner, a third winner, a fourth winner, etc. When all winners have been chosen, I will change the video title to include competition now closed. Now, YouTube seems to have sorted this out, but just be aware of scammers, people claiming to be me and asking you for money for delivery of watches. I will never do that. I will never ask you for $1. I'm paying all the postage, etc. on these myself. So don't worry though, if you don't win, there'll be more giveaways coming soon. Thanks for watching this video. While you're here, why not check out the kits for the AE1200 or my original review of the A168. I'll see you all again in the next one.